Sarah was already sitting in Victor Hale's office when I arrived. She looked at me the way you look at someone you have already won against. That was her last mistake. I do not know how she found out about my meeting. Maybe Victor's assistant mentioned it. Maybe she had set up some kind of alert on my email which, knowing what I knew now, was not outside the realm of possibility. Whatever the reason, she was there, sitting across from Victor in a deep burgundy dress, perfectly composed, with a smile that said she had already reframed this in her favor. She said, "Maya. I'm so glad you're here. I was just telling Victor that I think there may have been some miscommunication between us lately and I really want to clear the air." Miscommunication. I set my bag down. I sat in the chair beside her. I looked at Victor Hale and I said, "Thank you for making time. I have some materials I would like you to look at before we continue any conversations about investment." I opened my laptop. I pulled up the presentation I had built the night before with Daniel. Victor leaned forward. I started with the founding documents. The original LLC filing. Both names. Equal ownership. My signature beside Sarah's. I had the time-stamped records of every major technical decision I had made, every system I had architected, every client deliverable I had built. I had the original pitch decks with version histories showing my contributions before they were erased. I had the client contract amendments showing my name removed without my knowledge or consent. I had the recruiter thread. And I had the notes folder. I did not read it aloud. I did not need to humiliate her in that specific way, and honestly, it was not about her anymore. I simply told Victor that I had found a document in our shared company drive that documented a deliberate strategy to undermine my standing in the company over an extended period, and that I was prepared to share it with his legal team as part of any due diligence process. Sarah had been very still since I started talking. The kind of stillness that is not calm, it is the stillness of someone calculating very fast. She said, "Maya, I think you are misinterpreting." Victor held up one hand. Just one hand, palm out, and Sarah stopped talking. He looked at me. He said, "How long have you been the technical lead on this product?" I said, "Since the first line of code." 4 years and 3 months. He said, "Is there any aspect of the core product that was built without your direct involvement?" I said, "No." He looked at Sarah. He said, "You described this person as an employee." Sarah opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. And for the first time in 8 years, I watched Sarah Whitfield not know what to say. The meeting ended shortly after that. Victor asked us both to step out while he conferred with his team. We stood in the hallway outside his office, Sarah and I, for the first time truly alone since I had overheard her in that conference room. She looked at me and said, very quietly, "How much did you find?" I said, "Everything." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I did care about you, Maya. I want you to know that. It is not as simple as you are making it." And the thing is, I believe her. I think some part of it was real. I think you can genuinely care about someone and still choose, repeatedly and deliberately, to betray them. I think that is actually the most frightening version of the truth. That the warmth was not entirely performance. That she loved me and did this anyway. I said, "That makes it worse, Sarah. Not better." Victor's assistant came back out and asked me to come back in. Just me. Victor Hale offered Luma Analytics the investment that morning. In my name. As the founding CTO and, pending restructuring, the majority stakeholder. He said his firm did not invest in companies where the technical foundation was unclear, and that everything I had shown him made the technical foundation very clear indeed. He also said, quietly, that he had done business long enough to recognize when someone had been positioning themselves at another person's expense, and that it was not a quality he invested in. I cried in the elevator on the way down. Not sad tears. The other kind. The kind that come when something you have been holding so tightly finally gets to be put down. Sarah and I have not spoken since that morning. Our lawyers have handled the business separation. I bought out her equity stake at fair market value because despite everything, I am not interested in punishing her financially beyond what the situation required. I just needed her gone. Luma Analytics closed its series of funding 6 weeks later. Daniel and I had dinner to celebrate. Just the two of us. He brought flowers, which made me laugh, and we sat at my kitchen table, the same table where I had sat in the dark pulling threads, and we ate takeout and talked until midnight. I have thought a lot about what this whole experience taught me. And what I keep coming back to is this: I had the proof the whole time. I had built the systems. I had the access. I had the receipts. What Sarah had counted on was that I would not look. That my trust in her would be stronger than my trust in myself. She was almost right. But almost does not count. I am Maya Chen. I am the founder and CTO of Luma Analytics. I built something real, and I know my own worth not because someone told me so, but because I finally stopped letting someone else write the story of who I am. This one is mine. I am the one telling it.